Dario Cioni is under a bit of difficulty here, and I would think the time is going to have to come when Michael Rasmussen is just going to have to leave him behind.
I think it'll probably be once we're on the foothills of the actual big climb, the Ballon. I think you want to keep it.
I think it's here.
Oh, I think it might be here, Paul, yeah.
He actually
just
waited.
hasn't got it.
He waited a number of times,
no.
but you know what? You can wait for a man for so long, but when all of a sudden he's becoming an anchor, you have to get rid of the anchor. You have to cut the ties, and now Michael Rasmussen, as he was in the early part of today's stage, is allowing himself to fly free.
Well, we're into the town of Erbe just now, and the peloton enjoying their day in the Vosges because they're not really under pressure here. It might change when we get onto the Ballon d'Alsace, rather. Here's the man who's piercing the air first, and this is Michael Rasmussen, and he's having a wonderful day today, looking for his next King of the Mountains points.
So Rasmussen, he really is burning up the road here. Amazing. The crowds over the last few days have seemed to get bigger and bigger. Over the 30 kilometers of the final of the stage into Karlsruhe, the German police reported that there were 500,000 spectators watch the end of the race. That makes approximately 1 million people on the roads of a stage of the Tour de France. Now that is huge. Backing off a fraction, just recuperating. Team Discovery Channel now, I think, setting themselves up for what is going to be the next climb of the day, the Ballon d'Alsace. The Ballon d'Alsace is a first category climb. It climbs up to 1,100 meters. It's a climb of only about 9 kilometers, but a lot steeper than anything we've had so far, at an average gradient of 7%. This is the group of the sprinters, and it's not really surprising to see Bernard Eisel there wearing number 175 and Robbie McEwen. McEwen maybe a little while ago hoped that he was going to get himself over the Ballon d'Alsace, but he's a sensible rider is our Robbie. He knows when the writing is on the wall, and he knows that all of the sprinters today are going to have a very difficult time on the run in towards the finish. So Angel Vicioso has managed to accompany the acceleration there of Christophe Moreau in first place, Jens Voigt there in second. So the race is starting to get very, very difficult as the gradient kicks in at an average of about 7%. But this man is really turning the race on fire. Michael Rasmussen, a former world champion at mountain biking, he, to put it in your language, Phil, is absolutely dancing on the pedals.
He certainly is, and they're not looking like a man who's about to crack in a hurry either. The race referee there, in fact, he looks like my Christian Prudhomme who was there, the next race director of the Tour de France. He's the assistant, indicating to the crowd, stay back, but this is an orderly crowd here as they come onto the mountain, and this guy is soaking up the atmosphere. He's got himself a huge lead in 2 days in the King of the Mountains.
That the pressure going up. Angel Vicioso, well, sorry guys, can't stay with the train.
Had to happen.
Well, he was in difficulty a little earlier on, and right now what he's got to do is basically, if you're in this situation, forget about trying to stay in contact with two guys who are setting a much harder pace. Sit back, try and relax, if you can relax on a climb like the Ballon d'Alsace, and get into a rhythm which is comfortable for yourself, because if you go too far into the red zone, you never recover. They've just stopped the Liquigas team there, and that's because just in front there you can see Dario Cioni. Could be looking at a very good day out. They've caught Cioni. We just saw his team car stopped a few moments ago. That was an indication that he wasn't far in front. Christophe Moreau here is setting a phenomenal pace, and I think Jens Voigt now quite happy to take second place. But Jens Voigt will recover as soon as he gets to the top of this climb, and you'll see him administering his power once again.
This is the climb now of the Ballon d'Alsace, and this is the lone leader, and what a ride he has done today. I think he got away after 2 kilometers this morning. He's now some 60 kilometers from the finish. He's won every mountain. Riders have come and paid him a visit. He sent them back to the bunch. He's on his own. And look at the crowd now, just trying to catch a glimpse of Michael Rasmussen.
Phil, this is an unbelievable crowd. They have turned out here to see the Ballon d'Alsace. This is not the highest climb in the Vosges, but it's the southernmost climb in the Vosges Mountains. And this man has absolutely lit the race on fire. A little bit of air to breathe as they move behind the barriers here, but he has got every point this afternoon on every mountain pass. He is laying down the foundations here for a crack at winning the King of the Mountains classification. Armstrong looks very comfortable. He admitted yesterday he was able to easily counter the moves by Alexander Vinokourov, but he didn't want to chase everybody down. He knew the man that he wanted to watch the most, and that was Vinokourov. Once Clodin went, he said, well, I won't chase them all down, and at least I've got a 2.5-minute lead on him anyway.
This is over the top of the Ballon d'Alsace, and 9:25 is the official gap over the top. But of course, they've already gone down the other side. The Ballon d'Alsace is now behind the Tour de France for the latest time in 100 years history of it being in the Tour. And the men driving, Discovery Channel, and Lance Armstrong sitting there as cool as you like.
Yep, it's Jens Voigt.
Well, it's a good time to have a puncture. You've got to have one at all. Well, he's gone back into the race, and I'm sure, well, where is Christophe Moreau?
Moreau is just up the road there. He will wait because he realizes he needs the power of Jens Voigt. It's not worth leaving a powerhouse like Jens Voigt at the side of the road. So theoretically, the honor amongst thieves would say he'd better wait for him because they need to work together to try and stay away.
Christophe Moreau bringing Jens Voigt. At the moment, Rasmussen has got enough time over Armstrong to also be ahead of him when we get to the finishing line in the classification. Lance could find himself in third place tonight. 8:27 the gap, 7 minutes to the other half of the breakaway, 4 minutes 12 to these two pursuers.
Looking there, they've just picked up the group that was caught in no man's land. So the race physiognomy right now is one lone leader, two chasers, and a bunch of around about 60 riders, which contains all of the top contenders in this year's Tour de France. But I would like to get a very good look into that main field to try and explain to me why Team Cofidis have come to the front to set up this pacemaking.
It's a little bit of a lonely ride, but he should start to feel good pretty much now, as this massive crowd in Mulhouse cheer him all the way home.
It's a corridor of noise that this rider is going through, urging him up to the finishing line. They realise how brave this man has been here this afternoon. They realise what an effort he's had to put in to survive off the front on a very difficult day through the Vosges.
For nearly 4.5 hours, they've watched him on the television at the finishing line. Now they can see him in person as he salutes the crowd. He gets his first ever stage win. He could not have imagined that was the way it was going to be when he left around midday today from the town of Jaromir. So they race up towards the line now. Every last ounce of energy here from Christophe Moreau as he drives towards the finish, because he could climb alongside Armstrong in the Alps, and I think he believes that, so he wants every second he can take right now. I think we're looking at the yellow jersey sat behind him, but that depends on how fast it takes the bunch to get in. We drive up to the finishing line now. I don't think Jens is going to even try to go by him as they come to the line. Christophe Moreau, the Frenchman, has certainly found his old form again. They used to be teammates, as Paul has said. They're now rivals, but I think today they're teammates again. As they come up to the line, 3 minutes has passed by on the clock, and Christophe Moreau takes second. Voigt is third. The clocks have started now. Let's wait for Armstrong.
He's there, looking over his shoulder. There are not very many top sprinters in this group as Stewie O'Grady is lined up. It's still Cedric Vasseur all over the machine. O'Grady's waiting. There's a challenge coming from Leaky Gas up through the middle there, but O'Grady's still waiting. He's an experienced track rider when it comes down to sprinting at the end of a race like this, and he wants to make sure he gets himself maximum points. Here's the explosion coming down the right-hand side. The Aussie's going for it. O'Grady's trying to get himself fourth place on the stage. It's going to be so important, but Bradley McGee is challenging him on the line. It's O'Grady just ahead of Bradley McGee, but that is a great move up the points classification for Stewie O'Grady from Adelaide, the only sprinter here this afternoon to get himself over the Ballon d'Alsace. And at the back of that group there is Lance Armstrong in the yellow jersey. Nice and comfortable for Armstrong, not a problem at all. Let's look at this one more time. Stewie O'Grady bearing the marks there on his calf of an accident a couple of days ago, but today he wants this. Look at that face, the grimace, the power of O'Grady. Once voted the best track cyclist in the world, the lunge for the line, and he gets himself fourth place and quite a few points, and that'll move him right up in the race for the green jersey, a title that he would like to be the next Australian to take.
Does this win today give you the motivation to go for the yellow jersey now? No, not at all. I don't think that's an option. My time trial skills are not good enough, and I mean, it's like I went away, yes, but on many occasions it's a peloton that decides like who's going away and who's not. Of course, in the mountains you can. If you're strong enough, then they can't hold you back. But there's still a lot of stages to come.
Does this mean that you will be the new team leader?
Yeah, of course, it's only 2,000 kilometers to Paris, so I'm going to manage to hang on to that. No. I mean, we got this strategy, and I'm happy that it is like it is, but we don't change the strategy. I mean, Ivan is the man, and he looks strong, and we have a lot of confidence in him. It's nice that we have this jersey that takes a lot of pressure off him, because we have done like half of our objectives we have fulfilled, and so we can go really easy into the next part of the Tour de France, and it's up to other teams to like prove that they do something, that they want to do something.
My job is to stay with Stewie until the last climb, and honestly Stewie wasn't feeling that good today at the start of the day. He's obviously turned things around, but it was a weird day with Ulrich crashing, and Rasmussen went away before the crash, and the peloton waited for Ulrich. But that's our big plan, is to pick up points for Stewie when Boonen and Robbie can't go with the climbers. That's Stewie's forte. He was the only sprinter who was there in the final today.
Michael Rasmussen, he is the leader today, led from start to finish in only his second Tour appearance. Christophe Moreau beats Jens Voigt to the line, 3 minutes and 4 seconds behind. But what a comeback from Stuart O'Grady. It looked like he was out of contention, but led Armstrong's group to the line to claim 4th place. Rasmussen has a clear advantage at the top of the King of the Mountain competition. In the sprinters competition, Stuart O'Grady collected 18 points today by virtue of that final dash to the line, and is now hot on the heels of Tom Boonen and Thor Hushovd. The Tour has a new leader in the general classification. Jens Voigt has a healthy 1 minute and 50-second lead from Moreau. Armstrong is relegated to 3rd place, but won't be too worried by the margin of 2 minutes 18. Rasmussen moves to 4th overall, with Vinokurov, Julik and Basso still in contention. Well, it's a rest day today, so no live coverage, but we will return tomorrow for stage 10, the first climb into the French Alps. Make sure you join us tomorrow night at 6 o'clock for the highlight show. This is Mike Tomalaris on behalf of the team. Good night.